Hi everyone, my name is Kathleen Dreyer and I'm a high school English teacher right here in New York. For this final research project, I decided to dive into the possibilities for multimedia projects and digital journalism as they relate to new literacy development for our students. The result is that these projects play a crucial role in those new literacy skill developments, but also empower our students to be responsible and collaborative digital citizens. At the very beginning of our course, we did a lot of reading and thinking about how technology plays into our life and the lives of our students, and then how those elements of technology play out in our classrooms. One key takeaway is that educators must continue to be the driving force of instruction in the classroom. They have the training, the wisdom, and the skill to help students create a strong foundation of media literacy, visual literacy, and technology fluency necessary for comprehensive digital literacy skills. Another conversation that we had at the beginning of our course is how do we assess and address the lack of digital skills that our students have. When I came across so many different resources for multimedia projects and digital journalism, it seemed like this could be a unit used across contents and for any age level to start to build the foundation of strong digital and new literacies. When students are able to choose their topics and see it through to fruition, we're creating an opportunity for student-centered learning that capitalizes on their interests, while also we get our jobs done of helping them create the foundation of new literacy skills. Another element that I found to be surprising and sometimes an oversight is that students, especially on the high school level, love to play. That word play we often associate with younger grades, but play is really experimenting life, finding ways to take risks, to follow natural curiosities, and to learn based on mistakes and failures. So digital projects such as multimedia and journalism do help students practice those skills while also having fun. Just as technology has evolved at an incredible rate, even over the last 10, 20 years, journalism also had to evolve to avoid becoming extinct. The old school newsrooms with printed paper have also, in 2024, gone to digital platforms, which is a far cry from the 1920s when people had to go to the movies to get their news if they wanted to see a film. In the 1980s began that trajectory of 24-hour news cycle, that news was available whenever we wanted it. It was there. And that's the world that we live in today. Through apps, newspapers that have gone to digital subscriptions, everything is available when we need it, which can be overwhelming for adults. I can't imagine how it's overwhelming for students as well. 86% of adults have gotten their news from a smartphone, computer, or tablet. When we take this information about where people are getting their news and combine it with this idea of students completing multimedia projects and digital journalism pieces, we're showing them that we're teaching them skills that are relevant, that they will need for the rest of their lives. If this is something you want to incorporate into your classroom in the upcoming school year, here's some research that I found to be particularly compelling. One article that was called the U.S. 2012 Live, When the Classroom Becomes a Newsroom, basically walks you through how teachers created a real-life simulation, to the best of their ability, of reporting the news of the 2012 election. Basically, when we replicate the demands and pressures of a real newsroom with deadlines, real-world experiences, collaborating with one another, students experience a more realistic, relevant, and authentic experience that deepens their learning. Another resource that I pulled into this project was the TED Talk by Liz Zacho, the educator who said, schools need to start mirroring social norms, and what goes on in the real world should be reflected in our classrooms so students are best prepared to live in that real world that is digital. Where we say role play with multimedia projects and digital journalism could mean that students are working with technology that they've never used before. They may have different roles in the newsroom, from director to editor to the person taking the film, working with cameras, working with the equipment. Educators have the opportunity to tap into whatever is most interesting for each one of their students, and then inviting them to take on new challenges. Students oftentimes wind up teaching us. They navigate the technology, they're not afraid to take the risks, and it's on us to allow them to teach us as we move through these experiences together. By allowing this kind of a unit in your classroom, you're not only helping students create content, you're also supporting strong writing. You are able to work into different conversations, how to spot fake news, how apps and data collection actually works, how to identify credible sources, and how to avoid plagiarism that they might not even understand. They live in a world that they're so used to sharing what somebody has said, retweeting. The idea of taking somebody else's information and passing it off as our own needs to be discussed in the classroom with the expertise of a teacher. This could be your classroom in 2024. Students are engaged, looking to do their own research, conduct their own interviews, spanning content areas and age levels. It gets them working together, collaborating, speaking to one another, and then being proud of their final products.